Hare Krishna, and Dandavats to all the devotees there at ISKCON Bergen. Please accept my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpataru bhayascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam
पतितानां
pavanebhyo
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
नमो नमः।
नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अपने अपने गुरुदेव की जय, श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, श्री श्री गौनिताय की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, लक्ष्मी नृसिंह देव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So I'm happy to be back again to your Sangha after a long time. Happy to see you all. And as Prabhuji just said, that today we have a very, very interesting topic. So I'm going to start by taking up a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, verse number 42. So if you can put it on the screen, or I will just recite and you can hear. Canto 3, Chapter 32, verse number 42. Bahirjat viragaya santachittaya diyatam nirmatsaraya suchaya yashyaham preyasham priyaham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed, and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. In the beginning, no one can be elevated to the highest stage of devotional service. Here, bhakta means one who does not hesitate to accept the reformatory process for becoming a bhakta. In order to become a devotee of the Lord, one has to accept a spiritual master and inquire from him about how to progress in devotional service. To serve a devotee, to chant the holy name accordingly to a certain counting method, to worship the deity, and to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from a realized person, and to live in a sacred place where devotional service is not disturbed, are the first out of 64 devotional activities for making progress in devotional service. One who has accepted these 5 chief activities is called a devotee. One must be prepared to offer the necessary respect and honor to the spiritual master. He should not be unnecessarily envious of his god brothers. Rather, if a god brother is more enlightened and advanced in Krishna consciousness, one should accept him as almost equal to the spiritual master, and one should be happy to see such god brothers advance in Krishna consciousness. A devotee should always be very kind to the general public in instructing Krishna consciousness, because that is the only solution for getting out of the clutches of Maya. That is real humanitarian work, for it is a way to show mercy to other people who need it very badly. The word Shushusha Bhirataya indicates a person who faithfully engages in serving the spiritual master. One should give personal service and all kinds of comforts to the spiritual master. A devotee who does so is also a bona fide candidate for taking this instruction. The word Bahirjata Vairagya means a person who has developed detachment from external and internal material propensities. Not only is he detached from activities which are not connected to Krishna consciousness, but he should be internally averse to the material way of life. Such a person must be non-envious and should think of the welfare of all living entities, not only of human beings, but living entities other than human beings. The word Suchaya means one who is clean, both externally and internally. To become actually clean externally and internally, one should chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna or Vishnu, constantly. The word Diyatam means that knowledge of Krishna consciousness should be offered by the spiritual master. The spiritual master must not accept a disciple who is not qualified. He should not be professional and should not accept disciples for monetary gains. The bona fide spiritual master must see the bona fide qualities of person whom he is going to initiate. An unworthy person should not be initiated. The spiritual master should train his disciple in such a way so that in the future only the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be the dearmost goal of his life. In these two verses, the qualities of a devotee are fully explained. One who has actually developed all the qualities listed in these verses is already elevated to the post of a devotee. If one who has not developed all this quality, he still has to fulfill these conditions in order to become a perfect devotee. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayo Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naischiki Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So very, very beautiful verse. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, conversation between Lord Kapila and his mother Devahuti. So we see that in the preceding chapters, the Lord is explaining the signs of pure devotional service. And as he comes down to the culmination, he makes a very, very important point about who is qualified to understand the spiritual process or the signs of devotional service. And I was thinking, as I was reading this verse, that all of us, ISKCON devotees, certain things are very clear. We know what's we hearing regularly, and okay, we know the goal of our life is to go back to Krishna, and we have no confusion about that. And we are working in that direction. So what way we are working in that direction is, as said in the purport of this sloka, that we are chanting, we are reading, we are associating with devotees, we are taking Krishna Prasad. So we're doing all that 5 important things, Bhagavad Shravan, Nam Kirtan, Vigraha Seva, Dhamba, everything we are doing. But then there are 2 things or 2 factors which are actually disturbing, or which are actually corrupting our system, just like a computer has an OS, an operating system. Our operating system, which we are using to go back to Goloka or to carry forward our devotional practices, is affected by 2 viruses. So one virus is desire, and one virus is envy. Now, desire and envy. So today we are not going to talk about desire because it's a big class in itself, but today we'll focus on the second virus, which is the envy. So this is something like, if you have a nice pot and you're working very hard to fill it with nectar, but you don't know, you're not aware that the pot has holes, then it's a disaster. You're working so hard to fill it with nectar, but because it has holes, all the nectar is getting drained away. And this is a story of all of our lives. We are all working hard. We do our morning sadhana, we do our chanting, we do our reading, we're taking association of devotees, we're saying no to Maya, we're saying yes to Krishna conscious activities. We're doing that which is favorable in Krishna's service, which we're trying to leave that which is unfavorable. We're just doing everything possible. But still, the required result is not coming up because the problem is there are holes in the pot in which we are trying to get the nectar. So of course we do experience some pleasure, or okay, I'm little better than what I was 10 years back, but that's very little effect of what is just lying in the pot after leakage. So what we're going to try and do today is to just find out where is that hole and how do you repair it, so that whatever hard work that we are putting in and that nectar and taste of Krishna consciousness, it can be retained in our hearts. See, we are associating with devotees, but what disturbs us is the envy. We're chanting, but we don't get taste because envy. Whatever we are doing, even when we try to read scriptures, when we try to understand scriptures, when we try to live what we are reading, what is causing an obstacle is envy. So we see in every aspect of our devotional life, something that is corrupting the whole process is envy. So if you see this verse, just read the verses before this, starting from 39, 40, 41, 42. In all the verses, Lord Kapila is talking about many other things also. He'll generally say that uh, if somebody is not respectful to spiritual master, then they should not get this instruction. If somebody is too much attached to family life, they should not get this instruction. If somebody is not friendly to all living entities, they should not get this instruction. Yeah, he will mention so many qualities, but if you keenly observe, in every verse, he will mention about non-enviousness. In the verse 39, he's saying this. One should be non-envious. In 40, he'll say non-envious. 41, he says non-envious. 42, he says non-envious. And I thought, see, this is something special. Why will the Supreme Personality of Godhead go on repeating something? I mean, did he forget that he already told about that in the previous verse, or is it for what is the purpose? Something which has been repeated continuously means it's of big significance. We see even the Vaishnava Acharya bhajans, and we see in different verses. Sometimes certain words are repeated just to create that emphasis. There is this very famous stotra of Shankaracharya, Bhaja Govindam stotra. In that he'll say, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Now, what's the point? I mean, we understand you're saying Bhaja Govindam. Why do you have to repeat 3 times? That means the emphasis. You see in the Brihad Naradiya Purana, when they say this verse, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nameva Kevalam. So, is there some problem with the tape record, some CD problem? No, it's just that they repeated. That means overemphasis. It's very important. When Lord Kapila already mentioned about it in the previous verse, but he again keeps mentioning it, and you see till the end of the chapter, every verse will talk about don't be envious. That means it's really important that we shouldn't be envious. See, sometimes, devotees will say, I'm trying to read Bhagavatam, but I can't understand. Very simple. Why don't we understand? Okay, is the language problem? You can't understand English, or you do it in Hindi? No, I don't know Hindi. Okay, then you go it in Telugu. Oh, no, not Telugu, Tamil. It's available in all language. What do you mean when you say you don't understand? Basically, what we mean by saying when we don't understand is we're not qualified. And what is that disqualification? What is that which is making us disqualify? Is this anarthas. When we are covered with those anarthas, when we are wearing the spectacles of anarthas, then we can't see, we can't hear, we can't understand things as they are to be understood. So that means it's very important. Unless and until we get rid of these anarthas, we won't be able to see and hear and understand things as they are. So we see various places, even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna time and again mentions about this. You see in the 9th chapter, verse number 1, Krishna says that, Idam tote guhyatamam pravakshami anusuyave gnanam vignana sahitam yagnatva mokshase subhat. He says, this knowledge can be understood only by those persons who are non-envious. This Rajaguhya, Rajavidyam, this confidential knowledge can be understood only those who are non-envious. Okay, so you see 9.1, he says that. You see Bhagavad Gita 4.3, he'll say, Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hetad uttamam. Who can understand their knowledge? He says, Sa evyam maya tedya yoga protaka puratana. Arjun, I'm telling this to you because you're not envious of me, because you are my friend. So Krishna drives that point home, that who can understand? Only one who is Krishna's friend, who is not envious of Krishna, and he is not envious of Krishna's devotees. You see, same thing he will say in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12. You see Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 from verse number 13 to verse number 20. Krishna is mentioning 36 qualities of devotee that he wants to see in his favorite devotee. So there he also mentions, that the most important thing is non-enviousness. So you see chapter 12, Bhagavad Gita, starting from verse number 13. He'll keep mentioning Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priyaha. That kind of devotee I like very much, who is non-envious. Anapeksha, Suchirdaksha, Udasino. So many qualities he'll go on saying. Adveshta, Sarva Bhutana. He starts with Advesha. Dvesha means enviousness, adveshta. And towards whom should we be non-envious? He says, adveshta sarva bhutanam. For everybody, towards all living entities, if you are non-envious, then I like you. You're my favorite devotee. So you see 9.1, you see 4.3, you see 12.13, you see 16.19 in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna talks about the divine and the demoniac qualities. And Krishna mentions that one who is envious, that kind of person, I throw him perpetually in the material ocean, and he has to take birth in the lower species, in the demoniac species of life. So he's so angry on those who are envious. You see Bhagavad Gita 18.67. There again, Krishna mentions, this confidential knowledge should not be imparted to those who are envious. So many times he's mentioning, and he's not saying this can't be imparted to somebody who is greedy. Don't impart this knowledge to somebody who is angry. Don't impart this knowledge to somebody who is lusty. No, time and again he'll say, this knowledge is not for those who are envious. That means this is like the king of anarthas. King, he's a boss of all the 6 anarthas that we know about: kama, krodha, moha, mada, lobha, matsarya. The matsarya, the envy, is the boss of all these 6 thugs, 6 thugs which rob us of our Krishna consciousness, which rob us of our bhakti. The boss of the mafia gang is envy. Turn to Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, verse number 2. The first thing that is mentioned is, who can understand the Bhagavata Purana? One who is nirmatsaranam. Satam, nirmatsaranam. Satam means devotee, nirmatsaranam means one who is non-envious. Only they can understand the Bhagavat Purana. So if we want to go ahead in our Krishna conscious life, we need to understand Bhagavat, we need to understand scriptures. And in the beginning itself, it is mentioned, you won't understand. If you are envious, you won't understand. So leave it, keep the book aside. First work on your enviousness. And then let's go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Oh, there are hundreds of quotes there and hundreds of incidents where we see that a devotee who is envious, falls down in his Krishna consciousness. What does Srinivas Acharya say in the Sada Goswami Ashtakam? The first verse, he mentions, Dhira dhira jana priya priya karo nirmatsaro pujito. First thing he says, what is so beautiful about the 6 Goswamis? They are nirmatsara, and that is why they are pujito. They are worshipable. They are lovable. By whom? Everybody equally. Whether somebody is a ruffian or somebody is a pious brahmana or pious person, everybody likes the Sada Goswamis. Why? Because they are nirmatsara. They are not envious. Elsewhere, Srila Prabhupada says in the Purport in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 11, text number 23, he mentions that a sadhu, a devotee, is nirmatsara. So he says he doesn't have the nature of a matsya, of a fish. The nature of the fish is, when the fish is swimming around and the big fish sees the small fish, the big fish is thinking, better I eat this small fish. Because if I don't eat the fish, this fish will become big and it may eat me later on. So even before the fish becomes big, let me eat it. That's the nature of a fish. But devotee doesn't have that nature. He's nirmatsara. He doesn't have a nature like fish. So Prabhupada is mentioning there that this enviousness, being envious of other devotees, it's an aparad. It is a Vaishnava aparad. And we do Vaishnava aparad, Hati Mata. This is the moment we do Vaishnava aparad, all the bhakti, lata, creepers that we are so sincerely trying to nourish, with the water of our devotion, our chanting, our sadhana, is trampled the moment we do Vaishnava aparad. And being envious is a Vaishnava aparad. When you are envious of a devotee, it's a Vaishnava aparad. So, where is this enviousness coming from? Where does this envious come from? How does it come? Well, it's there in us. That is why we were thrown here in this material world. We were envious of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. We thought we should be the enjoyers. And that is why we are here today in this material world. We did not come to this material world because we were not chanting properly, or we didn't have any other issues. The whole issue was we wanted to be the center of attraction, and we were not able to tolerate why Krishna should be the center of attraction. And that is why today we are here in this material world. Sometimes when I mention this to the devotees, many of them, they say it's not very convincing. How can somebody feel envious of Krishna? I don't think I feel envious of Krishna. Do you feel envious of Krishna? Do you feel envious of Krishna? No, we don't feel envious of Krishna. Everybody would say, no, I don't feel envious. But the thing is, now, today, as of now, we can say that confidently we don't feel envious of Krishna because Krishna is in that marble. So we don't feel envious. The moment he actually walks out of that marble, he walks out of that brass, brass statue, we will start feeling envious of him. The moment he walks out with a nice, gorgeously dressed and a beautiful smile and an effulgent face, and if you will see, everybody in the temple hall is running to talk to him, and he's the center of attraction, and then he's speaking with everybody. Just try to imagine. Now we are very comfortable because he's there, and we are completely under, it's like he's like under our control. We can do whatever we want to, and he's not talking about us, or he's not telling anybody. He's simply a silent spectator of all the Hippocratic drama that we are doing of being a great and pure devotee. He's simply watching it silently. And so we are very happy. The moment he comes out and he opens his mouth, and tells people about what we are, how we are, and when we see our friends and family and husband and wife and children, and they're all running to him, and they're almost all the time giving him more importance than giving to us, definitely we're going to feel envious. Just that now we don't see him in flesh and blood, so there is no enviousness. But when that actually happens, we'll feel envious. So enviousness is there. Enviousness is definitely there. So we need to work on that. We need to work on that enviousness. We're already working on so many other aspects of our Krishna consciousness, our chanting and our sadhana and our bad habits. And we're working, but then simultaneously one also needs to work on the report card of our enviousness. That means on regular intervals, one needs to check. Okay, I was chanting 8 rounds. Now I'm chanting 16. Great. I used to not offer food to Krishna, and now I'm offering. Okay, I'm improving. So similarly, one also needs to check the report card of the anarthas, how it's going. That means a regular introspection has to be done on proper intervals. Oh, where am I going? Where do I stand? And consciously make an effort in that direction. Because if the envy is out, rest of the things will follow. See, I remember when I was a young college student, in the Indian cricket, Sachin Tendulkar was very famous, and the whole strategy of the players, who play against the team India, used to almost all the time revolve around Sachin Tendulkar. The whole strategy used to be, if Sachin Tendulkar is bowled out in a couple of overs in the beginning, then we're going to win the game. But if he stays on the pitch, then it's very difficult. Same thing, the envy is Sachin Tendulkar of the Maya, If he's not bowled out, then we lose the game. But if this envy is bowled out, if envy is defeated, then the rest of the anarthas are not batsmen, they're bowlers. They will simply make 2 runs and get out. It'll be very easy. It'll be peanuts to take them out of the game. But the whole point is envy. Because the thing is, envy is the king of anarthas. And where does the king sit? The king sits on the throne. So envy sits on the throne of our heart. But actually that place is supposed to be occupied by Krishna. So now because he is occupying it, envy is occupying it, there is no place for Krishna. So when we throw envy out, then Krishna comes and sits in our heart. And moment Krishna comes, then rest of the anarthas, he'll clean it himself. Because when he sits there, he'll say, oh my God, this place is smelling. And then he'll take him, he'll sweep our whole heart. But we need to first empty that place for him to sit, which is occupied by envy. So, all right. Okay. So what is envy? We're talking about envy. So how do you define envy? Like, how do I know, okay, means envy? So if we want a definition in single line, envy means you are happy when somebody is unhappy, and you are unhappy when somebody is happy. That's envy. Okay, I understand the definition of envy. Whom do we get envious of? That's the question. Well, we get envious of those who are in our reach, whom we can reach. Usually, we are not envious of devotees who are high above us in Krishna consciousness. We never feel envy because we almost all the time think that they are pure devotees and we want their blessings. We are not envious of them. And we are never envious of those who have come newly to Krishna consciousness because they think we are pure devotees. And they're always looking up towards us and we want to show our compassion to them. So we have no problem, no enviousness for the juniors and no envious for the seniors. Whom we are actually envious of is devotees who are with us on the same frame. That is a problem. I often tell this in my classes that driving on a highway, it's easy. When you are driving on a highway, sometimes, some cars are maybe 50 kilometers ahead of you and some cars are maybe 20 kilometers behind you. There is no clash. You can happily drive. But when you are driving in a traffic jam in India, it's difficult. You almost all the time you'll bump into somebody because everything is so close by. So that is the thing. In the highway, what's happening? The senior devotees are much ahead somewhere and we feel we cannot reach them. So there is no enviousness. And those who are new, they're way behind us. So there is no enviousness. We know they'll never reach us. But those who are with us almost all the time, there will be something, some kind of an enviousness will crop in. Now, one thing may come up. Okay, the class is okay, but I don't think I'm envious of anybody. You said definition of envy is feeling happy when somebody is unhappy, feeling unhappy when somebody is happy. I don't feel like that. I don't feel unhappy when somebody is happy. That means I don't think I have enviousness. So I don't think I need to listen to this class because I'm not envious of anybody. So what we're going to do now is to administer a 6-point test. A 6-point test to just check for ourselves in case if we have envy. Just check ourselves. So I'll read out all the 6 tests and then we can check for ourselves, all of us. And then, okay, do I have envy? Okay, there may be so many ways to test it, but I'm just like giving you simple 6 tests with, which we can immediately, without any laboratory intervention, we can know for ourselves that we have envy or we don't have envy. So test number 1. If somebody is praised in front of you, how do you feel? Just check for yourself. I don't need answers. We are on Zoom and I won't be able to get your answers. So somebody is praised in front of you. Okay, he's not your senior. He's not your junior. He's somebody whom you are, on your level. And he's praised. So how do you feel? So you just check yourself. Okay, I feel very happy. Is it? No, I don't feel very happy. I'm happy. Okay, now check again. Are you happy or you are not so happy? I'm okay if he gets praised. So what? Now check deeper. Are you okay or you are like, I don't think I liked it so much. And then go more deeper. Is it that you didn't like it so much or you didn't like it? Check it. The more you go deeper, you will realize, well, actually, I didn't like it that he got praised. But superficially, you may think, no, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Everybody gets praised. What is that? But when you go deeper and you go deeper inside your heart and you will see, well, no, actually, I didn't like it. I didn't like it that he get praised, See, so, you'll see that in your day-to-day life, sometimes, our devotee talks, our devotee gossips, it'll be like, hey, did you see that Mataji? She cooks so well. My God, the morning Mangalarati sweets by her is like amazing. And, there'll be instantly so many responses, and then somebody may come up, yeah, she cooks well. But you know what? She doesn't keep her house clean, Have you seen how she keeps her house? My God, other day I went, it was not clean. These are ISKCON gossips, somebody will say, that Prabhu sings so well, he's like, oh my God, he's like Narad, he's like Gandharva, the way he sings. Yeah, he sings nice, but do you know how much he eats? My God, the other day I saw this much rice, how much he eats, we don't realize unconsciously we do that. So we say, no, I'm very happy he got praise. Yeah, you're happy, but then you'll always almost try to lace it with something and just make yourself feel happy that, okay, he may be a great singer, but he's not a great cook. Okay, she may be a great cook, but she's not a good mother. Okay, so we'll just try to do that. Sometimes we'll do it verbally in front of everybody, openly will do that. Or sometimes be very smart, we won't do it openly, but inside our heart we'll think, that's all right, what is that if she sings good, but she's not a good mother, I know how she behaves, I know how her children, they don't even chant, they don't even come for aarti, but she talks so many things. We'll just try to manage in our heart. This is something we have to check for ourselves. Nobody can help us. Or do I feel that? Okay, this is a test number one. See, you see in Chaitanya Charitamritam, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives a hug to Shankar Pandit. Now, Shankar Pandit is the younger brother of Damodar Pandit. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Damodar Pandit, they both are like, they grow up together. They are like friends. And then Damodar Pandit is standing there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like hugging his younger brother. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Damodar, I like you, but I like your younger brother a little more. I like him more than you. And Damodar Pandit becomes so happy. He said, just because you said this today, from today onwards, I am his younger brother and he is my elder brother. And he becomes genuinely happy. So, like, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many incidents you can see by the examples of devotees how they displayed their amazing qualities. So much tolerance they had, how non-envious they were of each other, so appreciative they were of each other. So this way we can understand, if I was in that position, would I have been happy? Would I have been feel like, okay, I grew up with him and now Lord says he likes my brother better? There may be some kind of a feeling. This is test number one. We'll go to the test number two. When others make a mistake, okay, they make some mistake. So what do you feel about it? Do you feel very bad for them? Arey, poor fellow, oh my God, he made such a big mistake. Do you feel very bad about it? Or do you feel, okay, I don't feel very bad, I feel bad. Okay. And then go deeper and check. Um, I didn't feel bad at all. He did the mistake. So what is there? Or go more deeper and check. Or did you feel he deserves it? He deserves it. What he did, he deserved that, because, or you'll try to speak some philosophy. No, actually, I'm not envious of him. It was good for him what happened, that will make him humble, that's all. Otherwise, I didn't. He should be humble. It was good for him. He was making this mistake long time. And now everybody came to know he's exposed. I think it's good for him. Do you feel good about it? Like, we need to check deeper. When something's happening wrong to somebody, what is your instant feeling? Do you have an empathy, or you have sympathy, or you are like, I guess he deserves it. What is your feeling? We need to check deep inside. Or is there a kind of a little pleasure or something like, oh, good, what happened to him? See, I'll tell you one very beautiful pastime. Um, in the Satyuga, there was one very, very pious king. Now, this king had one day a beautiful desire in his heart. He thought, let me feed all the Vaishnavas, everybody in and around my kingdom. So he said, all right, tomorrow I host a lunch for everybody. So he called all his cooks from around the place. Okay, come, everybody come and cook as many varieties you can, and I want to feed the Brahmanas. So they said, yeah, king, that's all right. But the only problem is we don't have that many arrangements inside the palace. So maybe we need to make a makeshift kitchen, outside in the open space, because we have to cook for thousands and thousands of Brahmanas. So the king said, all right, great. All the arrangements were done. The cooking started. Hundreds of varieties were cooked. All the Brahmanas ate their prasadam, but they all died. So now the king could not understand what exactly happened. So then they realized what had happened is, when the cooking was going on, there was an eagle which was flying with a dead snake. Now, eagles and vultures, they eat snakes. So he was just carrying a dead snake and flying over the makeshift kitchen, which was in an open space. Now, this snake was dripping poison from its mouth. That poison went inside the dal, which was being cooked, and all the brahmanas died. Now, the file went to Yamaraj. So the Yamadutas are asking Yamaraj, Sir, whom should we punish for this grave sin of killing so many brahmanas? So Yamaraj said, I'm unable to decide. Why not you people make a suggestion? So one Yamaduta says, well, sir, I feel that punishment should be for the king, because king is supposed to be responsible. He should have made sure, that the kitchen arrangements were proper, and the brahmanas would not have died. Immediately the second servant said, no, 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 I don't think king is responsible. How will he know this is going to happen? He did his best. I think the eagle should be punished, because why did the eagle do that? Then the third person said, how can eagle be punished? Eagle was simply eating its food and going away. How will it know that it's going to? It's after all, it's a bird. How does it have that much sense? I think the snake should be punished, because the poison came from the snake's mouth. The other Duta said, how can the snake be punished? The snake was dead by that time. It doesn't even know that the poison is dripping from its mouth. So snake can't be punished, eagle can't be punished, king can't be punished. The other Duta said, Sir, I know who can be punished. I think the cook has to be punished, because the cook's supposed to be careful while he was cooking, he's supposed to be careful what is happening. And the other Duta said, how can the cook be punished? Maybe he was, trying to get some salt or something. By that time, the poison must have fallen. He has not seen. What can he done? It was an open kitchen. Now the Yamaraj's file was kept on pending. He said, looks like I don't get any solution for that. Keep the file pending. We'll talk about it later on. And after some time, suddenly one day Yamaraj comes to the office and he's like, I know whom to punish. Go and punish that one lady there in King's Kingdom. So all the Yamadutas, they came running. Sir, we're very curious. How did you make your decision? What she has done? So then Yamaraj says, after many, many years, some other Brahmanas came to that kingdom. So they were asking for a route, how do I go to the king's palace? So this flower, the lady who was selling flowers, they asked her, should I take a right or a left? How do I go to the king's palace? And she very mockingly and, laughingly, she said, oh, you planning to go to the king's palace? I hope he has not called you for lunch, because last time he called for lunch, all the brahmanas died. And she started laughing. I mean, she was just enjoying it, And you know what? All of them died. You better be careful. So now the Yamaduta said, but sir, what is her mistake, sir? She told the truth, na sir. In fact, maybe she was helping the brahmanas by informing what has happened previously. So Yamaraj said that was not her attitude. She was laughing. And Yamaraj said, made a very important point. He said, why does somebody commit a sin? You commit a sin because you want to enjoy. But what happened that day, the dying of the Brahmanas, the king was not happy. The cook was not happy. The eagle was not happy. The snake was not happy. But the sin committed, who became happy by the sin? This lady who's selling the flowers. So she will be punished because she is so happy about it. She's mocking about it. She's laughing about it. So somebody should derive pleasure now of the sin committed. She has derived pleasure. She will take the sin. When I heard this, I thought, oh my God, sometimes we may apparently be very nice, never make any mistakes. But sometimes if we do mock others or just make fun of them or make fun of what happened to their lives, oh, their sins transfer to us. We have to be so very careful. So sometimes maybe we didn't do nothing, but whatever happened to that other person, we are unconsciously, subconsciously enjoying it. He deserves it. He should get it. He did that to me. Something like that, what he did previously. I think he deserves this. So this is test number 2. Do you become happy when other person gets some punishment, or he makes a mistake, or he's publicly humiliated, or whatever, in a subtler way? I'm not saying like too grossly, but somewhere if you're feeling he deserves it, then you do have enviousness inside. So we spoke about test number 1. We spoke about test number 2. Now test number 3. Do we feel I don't need to learn anything from anybody? If this feeling is there in our heart, that means we have enviousness. And we can check it. And we can, and you can check it all the more when you're hearing Bhagavatam class. You're hearing some class from somebody, check it. Almost all the time you'll have that feeling. The moment they recite as pastime, or they speak some point which you already know, you immediately have that superiority feeling. I know this story, I heard many times. I know this one. I read it in WhatsApp long time back. At this point, I heard yesterday only. That feeling will be there. You will not have that feeling like, okay, that's all right. I heard it, but it's nice to hear again. See, because in Krishna consciousness, whatever you hear, nothing is going to be new. Everything is same. What you speak today, what you speak 10 years before, what you will speak 10 years after, it's all going to be same. And nobody's going to speak something which is new. Everybody is simply speaking what they have heard from others and what they have heard from Vaishnava Acharyas, what is there in Prabhupada books, what is there in the books of the Acharyas. You're not going to get something new out of the blue. You're just repeating. But what happens every time a devotee speaks it, he's adding his bhava, he's adding his bhakti, he's adding his love and devotion in that katha. That's all the difference. See, sometimes, 2, 3, 4 different cooks, they may be making the same curry, the same vegetable, with the same ingredients, whatever is that, paneer or tomatoes, capsicum, bell pepper, whatever, salt, masala, same thing. But no two people will make it same. Somehow there will be some difference. Even if you give the same ingredients to this cook and you give same ingredients to this cook, both will make with the same ingredients, but the taste will be different, because everybody adds their own devotion. They will add their own expertise. So even if we hear the same katha or the same story or the same pastime from the devotee, what we are trying to take is the love and devotion of that devotee. That comes when from that devotee's heart, it gets sprinkled into our heart. That's the whole motive behind hearing the katha. So this is test number 3. Check. Do you feel that I don't need to learn anything from anybody? I know everything. That means we are envious. Okay. Test number 4. Do we feel everybody should respect me? All should respect me. See, when we were all new to ISKCON, our feeling was, I'm just a servant. Oh my God, everybody's so expert. I'm a das. All are my boss. But then slowly, unconsciously, we didn't even realize from das we become Prabhu. Everybody starts calling us Prabhu, and somewhere inside we like it. And after some time, if somebody doesn't call Prabhu, we'll feel bad. How come, he's calling me by my name, no Prabhu, no nothing, no etiquette, no manners. You want to be addressed as Prabhu. And after some time, you don't realize, you start becoming like Mahaprabhu. You think everybody should respect me. And not only Mahaprabhu, you start getting the feeling of Aham Sarvasva Prabhu. Everybody should respect me. If I don't come to the temple, how are they going to manage this program? What will they do? So slowly that feeling arises. So if that's happening to us, we understand we are having that feeling of enviousness. Okay. Test number 5. Okay, test number 5. Do we have appreciation for everybody? Just check ourselves. Or do I appreciate everybody? When we came newly into Krishna consciousness, we had appreciation for everybody. Just go back, rewind those days when you newly walked first time into an ISKCON temple. You must have had appreciation for everybody, even for the devotee who's giving Charnamrit. How nice, how humble. He was calling us with love and affection. Please take prasad and go. Please take Charnamrit. Oh, that Prabhu is so nice. That Mataji is so nice. Oh, that Prabhu gave such a wonderful class. Oh, the Pujari was doing puja so nicely. Oh, the deities were dressed so nicely. You just rewind your days. You had appreciation for everything, right? From the prasadam they gave you, or the class you heard, or the bhajan you heard, the arti you participated. And check yourself now. Now, for almost everything, you have some, you'll find some fault. The deities are nice, but they could have do it this way. Class was nice, but it was too long. Prasad was nice, but curd was missing. That person was nice, but that but. Yeah, so test number 5, we are envious. It's clear, it's done. See, when we actually came for the first time into ISKCON temple, our whole intention was, I don't know anything. I just want to learn from them. I don't know. I want to learn. But do we still have that? Is a question mark. Somewhere down the line, we changed from I want to learn to I want to teach. I want to teach how to do this properly. I want to teach. I like this one line by His Grace Vai Sasika Prabhu, and I have it written in my room also. He says this. He was telling this in one of his classes in Mayapur. So he was saying, our whole intention should be, I am living to be corrected by others. I am living to be corrected by others. And he said, over a period of time, now the line changes for us, and we think, I'm living to correct others. Now it has become like that. My whole existence is just to correct others. If I don't correct, who will correct them? So I like that point very much, and I keep, reminding them, my life is not for correcting others. My life is to correct myself. I want to be corrected. If somebody helps me, where am I going wrong? See, I'll tell you one very funny story. In an apartment, there were some children who used to come regularly and play cricket. Now, in India, cricket is a very, very popular game. Everywhere, almost everywhere, children will be playing that on the streets and here and there. Now, the apartment people were in trouble because children play cricket, the ball flies here and there, sometimes breaks the window panes, and they were, getting so irritated. So they were telling the children regularly, children, don't play here. Why don't you go and play in some playground? Don't play here. But the children never listened. Now, in that apartment, on the third floor, a new tenant arrived. He was an old man, 60 years old. So the neighbors were cautioning him, sir, you have come to this apartment. Let us inform you. These children play cricket whole day. They'll not allow you to sleep. They'll disturb. The ball will come to your window, break your glass. You will be in mess. This old man simply smiled. He was very confident. He said, oh, for me, it's a small thing. Within 10 days, I'll make sure that children don't play cricket here. And they were like, really? We've been trying for months. And he said, yeah, it's a challenge. 10 days, they'll not play cricket here anymore. They said, all right, great, let's see. So next day evening, he goes down there, and he's watching children play cricket. And at the end of the game, he calls all the children, come here. And all of them said, yes, uncle, what can we do for you? No, I just want to let you know that when you play cricket here, I feel so happy. And they are surprised. Nobody feels happy. Everybody's, all the time shouting on them. So why do you feel happy? He said, you see, I became old now. Now you people are young now. When you play cricket, I feel as if I am playing. I feel so happy. Can I request you children, please play cricket here every day. Huh? Don't miss, because I'm enjoying seeing that. And not only that, wait, I want to give you something. And he takes out money, So the children are like, uncle, what is this money for? No, why not you all go and eat ice cream? I feel so happy when I see you playing cricket. I want to give you something. So he gives 100 to all the kids. And they're like, no, uncle, we don't want. Arey, come on, don't feel shy. Come on, take it. Go and buy ice creams. They were very happy. Next day, he repeated the same thing. At the end of the game, he said, come here. I want to give you money. Go and get ice creams. Third day, he did that. Fourth day, he did that. Now the children become so used to, every day they get 100 rupees for playing cricket, and they go and buy ice creams. On the seventh day, he said, Hurry, I forgot to withdraw money from the bank. Today I have only 50 rupees. Is it okay? Children are like, oh, come on, uncle. It's all right. 150. What does it make difference? 50 is also okay. No problem. You can give 50. After another day, he said, I don't have 50. Can I give you 10 rupees? Is it okay? And the children were like, uncle, 10 rupees, we can't get a ice cream. No, please give 50 at least. He said, no, I don't think I'll be able to give more than 10. And then an argument started. And they said, no, what will we do with 10 rupees? At least give 50. And he said, I can't. And they said, you have to. And he says, I can't. And finally, the children got so upset. They said to the uncle, do you think we are cheap fellows who will play cricket just for 10 rupees? Do you think that's our standard? Go to hell. we're not playing cricket anymore in your apartment because you have insulted us. So we take your 10 rupees, go to hell. We're not playing cricket anymore. And he's literally begging, don't say that. Please don't say that. Don't leave. No, 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 nothing to be said. We are not playing cricket anymore here. And they just left and they never came back. Now, all of them were so surprised. Now, what happened to the children? They were not playing cricket for 100 rupees. They were playing cricket because they liked the game. But over the period of time, they started thinking that they're playing cricket for money. And now, because that money is not coming, they shouldn't play cricket. What happened? He just conditioned their mind. Same thing happens with us. When we first walk inside the temple, we didn't come to the temple, ISKCON temple, to correct anybody. We came that we want to get cured. I want to be a good devotee. I want to learn something. I have problem. I have issue. I want to learn. But over the period of time, we forgot what we came for. And now we think, I have to correct everybody. I need to do something to improve the standards of this temple. I need to give sense to this person. I need to. We forgot what we came for, and then we are lost. This is what happens to us. So check for yourself. Is this happening to you? Yeah, that means enviousness is there. Okay, test number 6, the final test. Do you see fault in others? Do you see fault in this devotee? Do you see fault in that devotees? He has this problem, he has, almost, the way we become conditioned over the period of time is like we become like x-ray machines, on the airport. You have those x-ray machines in the airport. We become like that. No devotee can we see with love and affection. Every devotee that we see, immediately that person's fault pops up. He has this problem, he has this problem, he has that problem. Somebody needs to mute them. Okay. So like that, we see fault in others. Devotees also, they're of different kinds. Some devotees are guna ekadarshi. Guna ekadarshi. Whoever they see only good things. Even if they're able to see the bad also, even if there are actually some bad qualities also, they can't see. They can only see the good qualities. Guna ekadarshi. Some are doshekadarshi. They'll only see faults in others. Even if there's so many good qualities, they'll see they're like those fly, a honey bee goes to the flowers to suck the honey, but a fly will almost go to a litter, to the dustbin. They're almost all the time attracted to the bad. No, this devotee has this bad quality, this person has this problem. Guna ekadarshi, dosha ekadarshi, guna doshadarshi. Guna doshadarshi is they see the good, but they also see the bad. He has good qualities, but he has bad qualities. But then there are some very, very special creation of Brahma. They even see the good as bad. Even if somebody has good quality also, they'll see as bad. If somebody is going regularly to temple also, they'll see as a bad only. Why so much overacting? Till yesterday, he was in the bar and he used to take non-veg and overacting. Regularly going to temple. If somebody is, doing fasting on Ekadashi, fasting, why all that fasting? What Prabhupada told? Take prasadam, do service. Okay, Prabhuji, I'll do service and I'll take prasadam. You're taking prasadam? You're taking prasadam. Is this Ekadashi? So many varieties you are eating. Ekadashi, the sagudana vada, khichdi, paneer. What is this, Baba? Do some fasting. Okay. You make a temple, they'll say, temple. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, sell the marble and distribute book. Why all this temple? Why not you distribute books? If you're distributing books, they'll say, it is okay, but you are distributing books and making, okay, but Lord is under asbestos sheet. What is the point? You have to make a temple for Krishna. Okay. You chant 64 rounds, they'll say 64 rounds. Prabhupada said 16 rounds and you do nice service. What is this all, 64 rounds? Finish your 16, go for preaching. You go for preaching and all, they'll say, what is this? Prabhupada said, Janma sarthaka kari kharo paro upakar. First you become devotee. What is all that preaching? You will be like, what am I supposed to do? What will make this devotee happy? You don't know. Almost all the time there is a fault finding. I'm not saying about others. Even we do that. We do that almost all the time, finding fault. So are we doing that? Are we seeing fault in others? Okay, that means we have enviousness. So like there's so many. Some people will say, I don't see fault in this. I don't see fault in that. it's constructive criticism, Mataji. I'm just like, things can be done better. That's what I want to say. See, the thing is, I'll tell you one very interesting thing. Many years ago, in the city of Shimla, there was a very famous painter. And, in Shimla, there's one very beautiful place, one chalk, what you get, 4-lane road junction. People display what they what they have done, and like an exhibition. And in the evening, people come and watch. Somebody displays a painting. Somebody will display some nice art items. So there was this one painter. He was a new painter. He just learned from his guru. So he was very humble-hearted. So what he did, he made a beautiful painting, and then he put it there on the 4-lane junction, and he put a note below. He said, if you find, anything wrong with this painting, some mistakes, he kept a black pen there. Please mark it on the painting so that I will improve, So that's about it. And he went away. Next day morning, when he came there was no painting. Completely black marks, completely black mark. That means everybody felt that this should have been changed, that should have been changed. No painting was remaining, completely black marks. And this fellow was so, disappointed. He took the painting and told his guru, see, everything, people didn't appreciate. I don't want to continue painting anymore. I don't want to do anymore. I'm finished with my painting this. Then the guru said, no, don't say that. Make the painting again. We'll go tomorrow. I'll help you. Said, okay. He made the painting again. Again, they put it in the same place. This time, Guru said, keep some paints, keep some brush, and below they put a note. In the note, they said, if you find, that certain thing is not done properly, please go ahead and make changes. Here are the paints and here are the brush. Just make the change. And next day morning, when he arrived, the painting was not even touched. Everybody said, it's very nice, very good. Because they want to make a comment. They don't want to change. They don't want to take that, make an endeavor of, actually trying to change something. They just want to make a comment. This is not correct. That is not correct. You correct it. You correct it. They don't want to help. So then nobody made any changes to his painting. This is our problem also. We were ready to find fault with others, but we don't want to do it. Prabhupada said you can criticize if you can do better. Prabhupada said you can criticize, but you do it and show it. Don't just tell, don't give advice, just do it. You do it and show this is how it is to be done. This way it can be done better. So, okay, we're done. Okay, now we are convinced. After the test, 6 different tests, yeah, okay. Somewhere I have also some trace of envy in me. So, what is the solution? What is the solution? See, the problem is, if our envy was gross, it would have been easy to work on it. The problem is our envy is subtle. See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, you see the pastime where of Daksha Prajapati, Daksha and Lord Shiva. Daksha was very vocal about his envy, very gross. He says Shiva is in the crematorium grounds, and Shiva wears scanty clothes, and Shiva is almost all the time with his hobblins, and Shiva is like this, Shiva is like that. He was very open and verbal about his envy, which he had in his heart about Lord Shiva. Okay, you see Pondarik, he was open about his envy for Krishna. He was wearing Krishna's peacock feather, and he was carrying a flute like Krishna, and he said, I am Krishna. Shishupal, he was very vocal and open about his envy for Krishna. Okay, I'm envious of Krishna. Krishna is like this, Krishna is like that. You see in Chaitanya Charitamritam, Gopal Chapal, he was open about his envy towards Srivas Thakur. He was envious of Srivas Thakur. So what he did, just to defame Srivas Thakur, he got all the ingredients which were used for Durga Puja, and he went and put it in front of Srivas Thakur's house, and he was telling everybody, look, this Srivas is posing as a Vaishnava, but he worships, Durga Devi or Kali or whatever. He's not a Vaishnava. So he was open about it. If they are open about it, you can do something about it. But if there is a subtle enviousness inside, you see, if I have a wound in my finger and blood is oozing out, It's easy to deal with it. I'll put a bandage, I'll go to a doctor, I'll put soframycin, I'm done. But if you have a cancer somewhere inside and you don't even know about it, and it keeps on increasing, and you will know about it only when it is on stage 4, then it's a problem. Then it's a problem. And that is how our envy is. Our envy is not open, because we wear so many masks, people can't even realize. We have mask and mask and mask. And inside, this envy is growing and growing like a termite, like a cancer. And by the time it's on stage 4, you can't do anything anymore. Right? That is the problem with our envy. Even now, just now, when we're hearing this class, what will be happening in our mind? We'll be making a list of all those people who are envious of us. And then we'll be thinking in our mind, when the class is uploaded in YouTube, I'll forward it to all those people because they need to know they are envious of me. But we won't be making a list of all those people whom we are envious of, almost all the time we'll be thinking, maybe I just hope that devotee hears this class, and I just hope she hears that class and she knows that she's envious of me. But we're not thinking about whom are we envious of, that's a human nature. So now we are convinced, okay, this is what is envy. This is how we become envious of people, and we are envious. So now what's the solution? Okay. So I've listed out a number of practical solutions that we can bring out to overcome envy, or to at least subdue or control or minimize our envy. Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu, he's no more now in this world. He's gone back to join Krishna in his eternal pastimes. But he used to make a very nice point. He said, if you are envious of somebody, we must be envious of somebody in our life. We can realize that. And said that devotee whom you are envious of, make it a routine every day. As soon as you get up in the morning or before you sleep in the night, keep one diary, and in that page you write down that devotee's one good quality. So now you may say, but I'm envious of him. That's why I cannot even see good quality. No, you work on that. That's your exercise. Think and think and think. If you can't think of any good quality, one good quality is that he wears kanti. Wow, he never removes kanti. Oh, he wears tilak. Oh, he has a beautiful smile. Oh, he takes prasadam nicely. So like that, just whatever. And do that exercise for 30 days, 60 days, every single day. One good quality of that person. Write down. And at the end of the month or 2, you will be amazed. Oh my God, this devotee has so many good qualities. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to do this. See, because, he's a Nitya Siddha. So he knows in his ashram which devotee is envious of whom. So what he used to do is he used to make them do an exercise. He used to have, like, let's say it's like a public program, like, not public. I mean to say like a, ashram ishtagoshti, get together. And then on random, he will say, so Prabhu, can you get up and can you tell us something nice about Krishna Das, whatever the devotee's name is. Can you tell us something nice about Krishna Das? And now everybody in the ashram knows that he doesn't like that Krishna Das. But now Guru Maharaj has asked him to say something. So he'll say, what I like about Krishna Das, Krishna Das he's Krishna's Das, Yeah, oh, very nice, very good. That was a good quality. He's Krishna's Das. And then he'll say, you sit down. Now you get up. Can you tell something about, him, Sham Das? And he's like, Sham Das, Sham Das. Yeah, Sham Das is very good devotee. He has to, because it's public now. Everybody is, sitting there, and Guru Maharaj is asking you to speak. And he used to make them do that exercise. And, in doing it slowly, after a period of time, they really started appreciating each other. Oh yeah, it's true. I never realized. Yeah, he cooks sandesh very well. Oh yeah, he sings very well. I never realized that. And then by doing that exercise, they got improved, So you glorify that devotee. You glorify. Whom are you envious of? You glorify that devotee, particularly publicly and privately. Inside your heart, if you're not having that guts to do it publicly, start privately first. Start writing in your diary his good qualities, and then when you have mustered enough courage, then start doing it publicly also. Just appreciate that devotee. Probably you're very nice. Probably you like that. Just appreciate, and then you do that, the envy goes away. Okay. Other thing is respecting whomever you are envious of, or for that matter, everybody. Respect everybody, right? You see, I like this one beautiful bhajan by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. You must have heard that. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya. And in that, in the second stanza, he says, सकले सम्मानय करिते सकति देहुनाथ जथा जथ तबे तो गाइबो हरिनाम सुखे अपराध हो बेहत गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दासे दिन पे का दीना. I like that second stanza where he says Sakale Sammana Karite Sakati. Sakale Sammana. Not only Guruji, not only Gurudev. We should have this Shakti, this strength. Sakale Sammana. I don't know what in the translation they may have limited it, that give me the strength to respect you. Or see, these Vaishnava bhajans are, you can take it whatever whatever way it helps you. I mean, I don't mean you misinterpret them, but I mean you just try to take it more deeper. You can't limit it to sakale samman means all kinds of respects, my dear Gurudev, I should offer to you. You can also take it as sakale sammana. Please give me the shakti, the strength to give respect to everybody that I come across in this world, because if I give respect to everybody, then what will happen? Sakale sammana karite sakati deho natha jata jata. Please give me that mercy. Please bless me that I can respect everybody. Then what will happen? Tabeto gaibo. Oh, then I will sing Harinama Sukhe. Then I'll be happy. I'll be able to sing Harinam. And then what will happen? Aparadha ho behata. Then all my aparad, all my offenses will be seized. Oh, Gurudev, please give me the strength to respect everybody. So this is one thing. You glorify the devotees, you respect everybody. Okay. Now somebody will say, everything is okay, Mataji, but sometimes don't you think it's natural when I see somebody who is having more wealth than me, you feel a little envious, or somebody is more beautiful, somebody is more intelligent, somebody is more rich, somebody is more powerful, somebody is more popular. Don't you think it's natural that some kind of a little enviousness you will feel inside your heart? Okay, now here is a solution. On two levels. On two levels, you understand this. Philosophically, whenever you see somebody who's having more wealth than you, more beauty than you, more intelligence than you, philosophically, you have to convince yourself that, okay, he has more wealth than me, but all these opulences don't give happiness. Material opulences simply tickle. It's ticklish. It just gives you some superficial happiness. It's like, I suppose you tickle small children. What will happen? They laugh, when you tickle. But do you think laughing is happiness? No. If laughing was happiness, then all of us could buy our own tickling machine and keep tickling ourselves whole day and keep laughing and see, I'm happy because I'm laughing. No. At the same time, I can't deny that laughter is not happiness. When you laugh, you feel happy. So, yeah, when you have material opulence, you are rich and you have all the opulence, you are wealthy. Yeah, it will give you some happiness, but it's superficial. So, whenever you see somebody's wealth, you should try to philosophically convince your mind, okay, he has wealth, but it's not about what you have, how much you have will make you happy. It is about what you do with what you have will make you happy. Okay, I'll repeat again. It's not about what you have, how much you have will make you happy. It is about what you do with what you have will make you happy. So let's say, I can cook well. Okay, this is my quality. So what will make me happy is how well I can use my quality in Krishna's service. Somebody has wealth. What is the definition of happiness? Is when he can use it properly in Krishna's service, that will give him permanent happiness. So philosophically, you convince your mind. Wealth and opulence and material opulence does not give happiness. It's not about how much who has, it is about what you have done. Okay, you may be very intelligent, but what are you doing with your intelligence? Are you preaching Krishna consciousness? Or you may be very smart. What are you doing with your smartness? The real smartness is he using that in Krishna's service? And on a practical level, what to do? I feel envious of this person because he has lot of wealth. So what should I do? So on practical level, avoid overexposure to such situation which are agitating your mind. That's about it. What happened with Duryodhan? When he went to Indraprastha and he saw all the opulence of the Pandavas, what happened to him? He was agitated. Now, after the yagya was over, everybody left, but Duryodhan stayed a couple of days more and he wanted to see more of their appearance. Oh, they have this garden also. Oh, they have this acres and acres of land. Oh, they have this. And that made him more agitated. What he could have done is, yagya was over, he came because he has to come as a family member. He could have leave immediately and not expose himself. So like that, on a practical platform, what we can do is not expose ourselves. If we understand, okay, this thing is agitating me, stay away. Stay away. Don't expose yourself. Don't overexpose yourself, right? So we heard it. So we went through so many tips. First is that you glorify the devotee, you appreciate the devotee. See, basically, envy is a perverted form of appreciating that person's quality. So why do you feel envious of somebody? He has something which you don't have, frankly. That means you're appreciating that that person has this and you don't have it. But envy is a perverted form of appreciation. Instead of doing it like that, do it openly. Glorify the person, appreciate the person. All right. So glorifying, appreciating the person, philosophically convincing our mind that that is not the happiness, and practically avoiding that kind of a situation, respecting all devotees, redefining happiness. As of now, the envy is there because we have come up with a particular definition of happiness. When your happiness is defined in terms of material opulence, then definitely there'll be envy. You can't do anything about it because material opulence and material resources are limited. Let's say for today example, my happiness is I get seat in a particular college, in a particular this. Now there are 10 seats and 100 people are trying to get inside. Definitely some will get, some will not get. Those who will not get will feel envious of these 10 people who got inside the college. So if your happiness is defined in the terms of material things, definitely there'll be envy. But you should redefine happiness for yourself. You should redefine. So if your happiness is in terms of Krishna consciousness, then there will be no enviousness, because Krishna is exclusively and fully available to each and every devotee. It is not like if Krishna is available to me, then he's not available to you. He's omnipresent. He's for everybody, and everybody can exclusively enjoy his association. Our love for Krishna is not like those Bollywood movies where there is one heroine and two hero. If this hero gets married, this person will feel envious. Our relationship with Krishna is not like that. Krishna is for everybody. He's for me exclusively. He's for you exclusively. So there is no question of feeling envious of anybody, right? So redefine your happiness. If your happiness is in terms of Krishna consciousness, you'll be happy. Okay. Now, the enviousness may come, like as we just discussed, among equal devotees. Sometimes you'll feel, um, I also was on the same level. He was also on the same level, but he just excelled and I just stayed. So sometimes there is a kind of a, even in your office also, sometimes, many times I get letters like this from devotees. I put the same effort, he also put the same effort, he got promotion, he salary raised, he got appreciation, and I didn't. So then enviousness arises. Now that may happen even in devotee community. So what do we do? So here is a little problem with our philosophical understanding. What we think is hard work is equal to result, or rather action is equal to fruit. But what we forget is action is not equal to fruit. It is action plus deva plus kala is equal to fruit. You do an action and then Lord sanctions your Purva Janma karma and the kala, which is equal to fruit. Because we don't know this definition, we feel envious of others, right? That person got credit because he has done something in his previous life also. He's rich from his previous life, good karma. That's about it. That is why you see there may be farmers in two different places in India. Let's say somebody is cultivating in Kanyakumari and somebody is cultivating in Kashmir. Both must have had same acres of land, same seed, same chemicals, same fertilizers, same system, but he got nice harvest and he didn't. Why? Because they had rain and he didn't have rain. So now rain is not under your control, so that means you can put in the same efforts, but Krishna's sanction should be there now. So your previous karma kala, you have to wait for the harvest season to arrive. Maybe his harvest season is June, your harvest season is August. Wait for 2 months, you'll get your harvest. Why not wait? Have patience. So when you know all this, there is no enviousness. Even if somebody is more successful than you, you are okay. You know, some previous baggage is carrying, some previous sukruti, some previous good karma. So no comparison, right? So like that, then you don't feel envious of that devotee. Okay. The other point is not to compare. The whole point, this whole thing about enviousness arises because we compare. You know, they are doing so good, preaching, so many bhakti vrikshas, so much, so big temples. They're doing this, they are doing that. No, that's all right. You're also doing. When Lord's bridge was constructed to go to Lanka, from Rameshwaram, the Hanuman and the monkeys, they were bringing big mountains, and squirrel was just, getting little mud. But Lord Ram was happy equally towards both. So we do according to our capacity. The mood in Goloka is the cow gives milk for Krishna, the peacock dances for Krishna's pleasure, the myna sings for Krishna's pleasure, the swans swim for Krishna's pleasure. But the cow is never feeling envious. Why can't I dance like peacock? And peacock is never feeling envious. Why can't I give milk like cow for Krishna? And they don't sulk about it and they don't sit and cry about it. They're happy. I can sing for Krishna, I'll sing. You can dance for Krishna, you dance. Or you can build a temple for Krishna, you build. You can distribute books for Krishna, you do. Everybody does according to their capacity. There is no comparison. I'll do what is my capacity, what I'm good at. You do what you are good at. And believe me, Krishna will be happy. Krishna is not comparing us. She distributed 25 Bhagavad Gita. Look at this fellow. He did one. No, he's happy. He's just seeing our endeavor, what we did. So there is no comparison in Goloka Vrindavan. And there is no competition also. It's not like we are in an Olympic race and Krishna is standing there with a gold medal in Goloka and he's like, hey, he came first. Okay, now you get the gold medal. No, even if you come last, still Krishna will put a gold medal on you. There is no race. Goloka Vrindavan is there and we are all on a journey. Maybe you'll reach faster. You're more advanced than me. Maybe I'm a little slow. I'll come later. But that's all right. Krishna is not giving you any marks for coming fast or coming slow. He's just wants you should come back and he's happy about it, right? The other thing, the other tip to overcome envy is be grateful. Be grateful for whatever we have. Count your blessings. Right? Count your blessings. Don't compare with what he has or what she has. See, everybody has this plate of Sunday feast, okay? And you have your gulab jamun and you have your rasamalai and be happy. Now, don't look at that person's plate, but he has pulao and he has raita and he has pakoras. Oh, that's all right. But you also have gulab jamun and you also have rasamalai. And maybe you also have a pakoda somewhere hiding inside the puri. You don't know. Actually, your plate is so much full. There must be some sweets hiding under a puri. You don't know. You're just simply looking at that person's plate. Just explore your own plate. Remove all, you eat in Sunday feast of ISKCON, almost all the time it will happen. There are so many varieties in your plate. You won't even realize there is a pakoda hiding inside a puri, You'll have to explore the whole plate to understand. Same thing. Krishna has given us so much. We have so many qualities, but we are not even realizing. We just need to open up and see our whole plate. And it's not about who got how much. It's about what you did with what you got. Whatever Krishna gave you, the qualities. See, now what we are now worried is, but he is doing so well. Okay, he's doing well, great, but Krishna gave you also some quality, so are you doing something about it? Okay, maybe you can't sing like that devotee, okay, but you can talk, so are you doing something about your talking? Or maybe you're not so good preacher like him, but you're a good cook, are you doing something about it? No, I'm not interested to do anything about what I have, but he is able to preach very nicely and I'm not able to preach. No, forget about what he's able to do. Just do what you have and explore your qualities and do something about it. Be satisfied with what you have. Be satisfied. Okay, I have this. I learned this from my children, a couple of years ago, when my kid was a teenager, and one day he just walks in, he's just talking about some exam results and all. And I was so amazed, a teenager boy, and he was so appreciative about his friends. Mama, he got this marks, and Mama, he's such a hard worker. And this boy, he's like this. And I was amazed because usually I expect, oh, teenagers means there'll be some comparison, I worked so hard, but he got better marks or she got better marks. But I always observe almost all the time he's so appreciative about others. Oh, he got this, and he's so nice in this, and he's so nice in that. And I thought, wow, that's beautiful. Appreciating about others' qualities, being satisfied with what you have, being grateful. And the other important point is the kind of association you have is very important. Just like we quote this verse, sadhu sanga sarva shastra kahe. Lavamatra sadhu sanga. Similarly, there can be an opposite effect also. Lavamatra asadhu sanga. Lavamatra asadhu sanga will put us in problem. Better to be away. Even if we don't have that enviousness, if we do that asadhu sanga, that enviousness may crop up inside us. So better to be very selective. In Bengali, there is one very beautiful bhajan. It says, যার মুখে ভাই হরি কথা নাই তার কাছে তুমি যেও না যার মুখ দেখে ভুলে যাবে হরি তার মুখ পানে চেয়েও না. He said, don't go and associate with somebody by whose association you forget Krishna. Don't look at the face of the person by seeing whose face you forget the face of Krishna. Just stay away. So like that. Just associate with selective devotees who are very nice and pure-hearted and simple. And the more you take their association, or you'll become like them. You'll become like them. You become, it is a science. You become an average of the 5 people that you closely associate with on a regular basis. So be careful on who are those 5 people whose average qualities you want to have, and then be selective and associate with them. And now don't ask me this question, but how is that possible? I have to associate with everybody. I work outside. I have to go. Yeah, I'm talking about taking association. I'm not talking about giving association. There's a difference. These people of whom you want to become like them, take their association. And others whom you have to deal on a day-to-day basis, give your association. Don't take association. Okay. And the most important point, what to do to get over enviousness. Shravanam, Kirtanam. You hear and you hear and you hear Bhagavatam. You hear from devotees. When we hear, what happens? Cheto darpana marjanam. The heart will become clean. And the heart will become clean. Enviousness will also go away, along with the other things that are driven out from our heart, See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 11, text number 23, it's a culmination of the whole Lord Rama's Katha narration. And Sukadeva Goswami says, anybody who hears this Ram's Katha will be free from enviousness. And I thought, see how this enviousness must be such a big problem that even as Falashruti, Sukadeva Goswami puts it that hear Krishna's Katha, then this enviousness will go away from your heart, which is disturbing, which is the cause of our existence in this material world. That's why we are here, because of enviousness. So like that, if you simply hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, then the enviousness, that's a Falashruti, that's the fruit of hearing. The enviousness goes away. And what happens when you continuously do Shravanam and Kirtanam? You're conscious of Krishna. You're conscious of Krishna. And that is what is going to deliver us. when I talk about this topic of enviousness, sometimes devotees will ask, Mataji, Shishupal was envious of Krishna and he got delivered. So is it okay if I'm envious of Krishna? No, it's not okay. Because the problem is, Shishupal was envious only of Krishna. We are envious of everybody. That is not going to help us. If we are envious only of Krishna, it would have helped us. But it's not that we are envious of everybody. See, Shishupal did not get delivered because he was envious of Krishna. Shishupal got delivered because he was conscious of Krishna. So he was envious, and because of that, he was conscious of Krishna. So what delivered him was not his envy. What delivered him was his consciousness of Krishna. So, are you that envious of Krishna that you are always conscious of Krishna? Then you will be delivered. But the problem with us is our envy is little different. Our envy is we are only obsessed with ourself. Our problem is we are self-conscious, conscious about ourselves and forgetful of Krishna. So no deliverance is going to happen. We are forgetful of Krishna and conscious of ourselves, self-conscious. But Shishupal was conscious of Krishna because he hated Krishna. He was envious of Krishna, and so he got delivered. So the whole point is the Shishupal Leela is just to drive the point that how the potency of remembrance of Krishna. It's not about to highlight, wow, you can be envious of Krishna and you'll be delivered. It's not about focusing on the negative. It's on focusing on the potency of how if you are conscious of Krishna, jeno teno prakarena, by whatever way, if you are conscious of Krishna, you will be delivered. So Shravanam and Kirtanam. Other thing what we can do is remember those personalities who are non-envious. If you constantly remember them, what Padma Puran says, if you keep on thinking about somebody, 1% of their quality you will get. So whom should we remember? Who are the non-envious people? Sada Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami. That is why what are we doing? Every single day we pray. Vande Rupa Sanatana. Why we are praying every single day? When we remember them, when we pay our obeisances to them, then we'll we'll slowly get qualities like them. So remember the personalities who are non-envious. And then one another point, and with this will be culminating today's class, is when we think everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, then we'll not feel envious. Today we feel envious because we think he is different, I am different. But if you think everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, then you will not feel envious. See, when you put a monkey in front of a mirror, you know what the monkey will do? The monkey will start hitting the mirror because the monkey will think, he'll not understand that it is his reflection. The monkey will think, oh, this is some other monkey, he's trying to attack me, so he will start breaking the mirror. If you ask a human being to stand in front of the mirror, he won't start breaking the mirror. He knows, oh, this is my reflection, it's me only. That much sense we have as a human being. Similarly, when we see our other god brothers, god sisters, other people around us in the world, we should think, oh, I'm also part of Krishna, and they're also part of Krishna. So we are all part of Krishna. So we are all same. Then you won't feel envy. You won't feel envy. Because I've spoken on length on this topic in a seminar that I gave to Central New Jersey devotees. So I don't want to go on and on because this is one of my favorite topic, and I wouldn't even realize time, and I'll go on and on. But you want to hear more about it, you can it's called how can you become favorite devotee of Krishna? I think I gave them 3 parts seminar, and I am still due to give another more seminar, another more part of this series that I'm giving. How do you become favorite devotee of Krishna for Central New Jersey devotees? And there I've spoken on length about this, how to be non-envious. So I was just telling them that if you become mother of everybody, then you will become non-envious. Because a mother, just like a mother is not envious of their child. As a mother, if you think everybody is my family, then you won't be envious of anybody. So I was telling them that if there is an affair between a boy and a girl, okay, they keep meeting secretly, that's all right. But the day the boy and girl decide to get married, then they need to accept each other's family as they are. Maybe they may be having a mother who is handicapped, or a sister who is unmarried, or a brother who is a mentally retarded, or there may be so many things, but they have to accept each other if they love each other. So similarly, you have an affair with Krishna, okay. But if you want to get married to Krishna, then you have to accept Krishna's family. And in Krishna's family, there are all kinds of Vaishnava. There may be an irate Vaishnava, there may be a humble Vaishnava, there may be a sweet Vaishnava, there may be an angry Vaishnava. But if you want to marry Krishna, then you understand that I love Krishna and they're all part of Krishna's family. So I have to learn to love them. I have to learn to live with them. And if you have that attitude in your heart, then you can love everybody. You can become Sama. Other day, I heard a very interesting point by His Holiness Mahanidhi Swami. He was saying that one way of getting over this enviousness is, he said, learn to share your opulence. Whatever opulence you have, he said, share it with everybody. Then also your enviousness will go down. If you think I have everything, he doesn't have, no, you should share it. And he was giving very sweet example. He said, I've seen that in Indian culture. He said in the West, if you're traveling, let's say somebody just takes out a pack of burger, he'll simply eat. But in India, he said, I'm seeing this culture even in the train, when they just take out some food or some cookies. The instant culture is they will share it with everybody, even they're unknown people. You don't even know them. You'll say, you want some, you share it, So he was saying like that, if we develop this culture of sharing, whatever we have, we share it with others, that will also make us non-envious. And the last point is the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution which can make us non-envious is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we chant, Hare Krishna, when we chant Krishna's holy name, then we can become non-envious. Now, how is that? See, if you have heard this Kaliya Leela, we know how the Krishna danced on the hood of Kaliya's snake, and then what happened? All the poison came out from Kaliya's mouth. Similarly, our tongue is like a snake, Kaliya. And what we want is Krishna should come and dance on it. So Krishna is not going to, come in physical form, in the form of his holy name. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then Krishna is dancing on our Kaliya-like tongue. And when Krishna dances, what will happen? The poison of envy will come out, will vomit it out. So we have to sincerely pray to Krishna, chant and pray to Krishna, oh my dear Lord, please dance on my tongue. Remove this poison of envy. Please give me shelter. Please make me a good devotee. Please make me the way you want me to. Please help me to fight over this anarthas and sincerely love you, worship you, serve you with a pure heart. So with this, I'll end it here. Sorry for a very, very long session, but the topic is like that. I wouldn't be able to do justice to that, if I would have make it brief. So with this, I pray to Lord Shri Radha Damodar and Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani, all of us, you, me, and everybody out there, that he blesses all of us, and someday we can remove this anarthas from our heart and serve him pure-heartedly as he wants us to. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm sure, Mataji, everybody was praying that we hope that Mataji continues beyond an hour.
Really?
You're just being humble.
I thought you're already bored and I went on and on.
No, I already finished some rounds chanting on the side, praying that you continue. This is your humility to say sorry, but wonderful. You spoke so much from your heart and giving us those test questions and the remedies. Only if we put it into application is where we will see that this class was really meaningful to us. Otherwise, it'll just end up as another nice class. So we will, at least here in our Bhakti Vriksha, will definitely take some of these questions and apply it to our programs. Prabhakar Prabhu, 1 second, just hold on. I'm just going to make a quick announcement. Yes, just 1 second, Prabhu. So before we lose everybody, I just want to quickly make the upcoming programs announcements. If you can see my screen. This coming Sunday, we have His Grace Ekalavya Prabhu. He's a sannyas candidate. He'll be speaking on the topic of humility of Haridas Thakur. Then next Wednesday, we have His Grace Vishwarup Prabhu from Ahmedabad. He'll be speaking on the topic of why do we always complain? And you can visit our website for all the other programs that happen during the week, mornings, afternoons, evenings, iskonofbergen.org. So at this point, I'll open up, Mataji, whenever you are done, just let us know. We will end the question, but you can take a few questions, right?
Maybe 1 or 2, yeah.
Just 1 or 2. Okay.
Okay,
So
I have a question.
Go ahead, Prabha.
Can I ask the question?
Yes.
Hello, Namaste, Hare Krishna. My name is Prabhakar. I'm eldest son of my family, and my father used to call me as a Prabhu, as a short name. I am from Tirupati. In South, we don't have short names. They always have full names. So somehow I am called Prabhu, and I used to travel from Tirupati to Jamshedpur for working, passing your Vishakhapatnam. But unfortunately, I never stopped by, so I love to go there sometime in my future. And I came to this country 50 years back, America. So nobody called me Prabhu. And when I joined ISKCON temple, Paramas, suddenly one of the things, they called me Prabhu. And I remembered my father calling me, and I teared up. My father, I never heard for 50 years. So anyway, that is apart. My question is this. You are using envious. And what is the difference between jealousy and envious? That is the only question I have.
Between envious and jealousy?
Yes. Is there a difference?
I'm sure there must be some difference. Immediately, it's not coming in my mind. Maybe Ramchandra Prabhu, you can throw some light on that.
I'll take that question in the Bhakti Vriksha. Prabhakar Prabhu is a part of a Bhakti Vriksha. So I was looking it up actually earlier. Also, my son asked the same question, and it said it's used as a synonym. Sometimes envious and sometimes jealousy.
There is some difference, but immediately it's not coming in my mind. I remember hearing it somewhere, but now it's not coming in my mind. Yep.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji, I've heard one time that one distinction that can be made is the presence of enmity. With envy, there is enmity toward a person, whereas with jealousy, not necessarily so.
Oh, wow. So, Prabhu, you got your answer. Mataji says that in envy, there is enmity for the person. In jealousy, there may not be enmity. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
It looks like there is a subtle difference. So,
yes.
But more or less similar, same meaning, comes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, with jealousy, you may appreciate somebody else's qualities, right? With jealousy, you may appreciate another person's qualities that you feel that you are deficient in. But with enmity, it is because you don't have that quality that you appreciate, you hate the person. Somebody who is jealous, they appreciate, but they don't hate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
Next question is in the chat is, when I feel that someone is envious of me or the service I do, I feel like giving up my service. Is that okay?
when you feel that somebody is envious of you, then you feel like giving up the service.
Envious of me or the service I'm doing because of certain service I'm doing, I can feel it, sense it, that somebody is envious. So at that point, I feel like giving up my service. Is that okay?
Maybe instead of giving up the service, you can make the person partner in your service. If you see that person is envious of you, then you make the person partner in your service and try to share credit and take guidance. That way the person will feel comfortable. So sometimes if you're doing well and somebody is envious of it, and you're having that feeling, so instead of giving up this service, maybe you can make the person partner in your service. You give credit or take guidance and take a humble position. Maybe that person will change over the period of time. So instead of running away from the problem, maybe you can try and sort it out. Almost all the time when you take up a humble position, you'll always see there will be a change in the other person. Sometimes the enviousness arises maybe out of our body language also, but instead of running away, if we can try and bring change in ourselves, which will see, I'm not saying that it's always we who needs to make a change somewhere, and that may have an effect on the other person. It may or it may not have. Even if you try to change your behavior, the person may not change, but it's well worth that trying then to leave serving Krishna, whatever you are serving, so you can continue. If you are happy with your service, you are enjoying to do it, just go ahead and do it. But try and take a humbler position. We see even in that pastime of the four Kumaras going to Vaikuntha, and we see how when Lord Vishnu takes up a humbler position, asking forgiveness, and immediately these people become so embarrassed. Arey, why did we show anger? So it's something like that, with the devotees also. If you just take a humble position, no matter how hard-hearted the other person may, they'll almost all the time, they may melt away. So you can try doing that, just take a humble position, take guidance from them. Okay, it's okay how I'm doing, shall I do it this way, shall I do that? Try and share credit, make them partner in your service. So like that, person becomes envious when they feel they can't reach us, or they feel like I was just saying what Mahanidhi Swami said, share. When you share your credit with everybody, when you share your credit with everybody, there are less chances of person becoming envious. And now again, I'm just making a general statement. I don't know specifically what may be the reason of why enviousness is coming, but you can check for yourself why it's arising and what you can do about it.
There's another question in the chat. The basic definition of envy is having everything for oneself. Then how was Shishupal being envious of Krishna?
Can you go again with the question?
Yeah, the basic definition of envy is having everything for oneself. Then how was Shishupal being envious of Krishna?
Why do we say that Shishupal was envious of Krishna? Because Shishupal
rather than himself, yeah.
Because Shishupal wanted to have everything for himself. He was upset that how come Krishna gets to be so famous? How come Krishna gets Rukmini? How come Krishna looks so effulgent? How come Krishna gets Agra Puja? Krishna got Agra Puja in the fire sacrifice conducted by Yudhishthir. That made Shishupal envious. Krishna got married to Rukmini, whom he was supposed to get married. So that made Shishupal envious. Krishna was very popular and appreciated by everybody, and that made him envious because he wanted to be there. So yeah, enviousness, the feeling is a longing to have everything for oneself, or longing to have something that somebody else has. You want to be like him, want to look like him, you want to have wealth like him, you want to be rich like him, you want to be popular like him, you want to be known like him. So like that's a longing. Somebody has something and you want it for yourself. That is enviousness, right? So that's what so Shishupal was envious of Krishna.
Thank you. Jayadrapati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Very nice, wonderful Mataji. I want to hear more.
Thank you, Mataji.
And apart from that, I will try my best to apply all these things. At least, as you said, at least one quality, if I get.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Mataji, I have a question, Mataji. Sometimes it happens like we feel like Mhm. How can I explain? If devotees say, I am better, I can do better. So how should we react?
When somebody says, I'm better, how should we react?
Yeah, I can do better. Yeah.
Great. If somebody says they can do better, then yeah, we can humbly hear from them how they can do it better, and we learn from them. No harm in lending our ears and listening. How I'm sure everybody has some way of doing it. Even if we think in our heart that maybe we are doing the best, there always we can learn something from others. And if somebody comes out there right and tells you, look, I can do better, so that's great opportunity actually. And yes, you can learn. Just take an humble position and you learn from them. See, it's like this. If the person is actually capable and he or she is going to teach you something which you don't know, great. And let's say if that's not the case, and you know that they don't know, and you know in the heart of your heart that, oh, they're just saying, but it's not. But even still, if you give them the chance and if that's making them happy, then that should make you happy too. Because just now I told you that we need to become mothers. If we become mother, then the whole world we can see with a different perspective. See, let's say your daughter or your son comes and tells you, Mama, you made this curry today, but I think I can make it better. And I'm sure you'll not feel bad about it. You laugh it off. Okay, great. You can do better. Acha? Okay, fine. You do it because oh, come on. Little children, they'll say something. So like that, if they're genuinely better than you, great. You got somebody to help you and do better. If they're not, and you know that, so that's all right. You just take it like okay, fine. Come on. Okay, tell me how you do. Okay, tell me how do you do it? And you just listen, just like we deal with little kids. And you just humbly look at them and then you appreciate, oh yeah, that was nice. See, that way you're making a day, right? You're making somebody's day. So why not take that opportunity? If your smile and appreciation is going to make somebody happy, then just do it. Yeah, great, Mataji, you did good job. That was nice. Just say that and they'll feel happy. So if you can learn it. Even if it's not helping you, if it's making them smile, do it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Couple more questions, Mataji?
There's still questions are there?
Yeah, they're just coming in like
How
there's
many
a
more?
floor questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can answer like this in a line, then it's okay. Another 4
Yeah.
questions.
Okay. In your experience, what is the best way to correct if correction is needed?
Okay. Your question is, what is the best way to correct somebody if correction is required? Now, again, this is on different levels. Are you talking about correcting some superior? Are you talking about correcting somebody who's on your level? Or are you trying to correct somebody who is junior or new in Krishna consciousness? Now, there are various ways. With different people, you will deal in a different way. So when you're trying to correct somebody who is a junior also, the whole point is, if you have invested enough in somebody's Krishna consciousness, then they'll take your correction very positively. For example, if you are a leader, a temple leader, and you haven't invested on their journey in Krishna consciousness, but then you're always there to correct them, definitely they'll not appreciate that. See, in their journey in pursuing Krishna consciousness, they're alone. But as soon as they do a mistake, you are there to correct them. They're not going to enjoy that. But if they see that you're genuinely, you have participated in their journey, you were there with them by their side, holding their hand, guided them, then they really don't mind. They really take it so positively when you correct them. So they feel happy. As far as the people on your own level is concerned, before you correct, you appreciate. Before you correct, you appreciate. You give lots of respect and with lot of affection. And then you very subtly you correct. And then again, it depends upon what kind of people you are dealing with. Sometimes some people are so open and they wouldn't mind. So you be sensitive with whom you are dealing, and how much you can You know their mentalities, you know if they're how sensitive or they are. So according to that, you correct. With the seniors, unless and until it's in your jurisdiction and something you really need to do, better to stay away, because Vaishnaver Kriya Mudra, Vigne na Bhuja. You don't know, even great scholars, great people also cannot understand why the Vaishnava behaves in a certain way or does not behave in a certain way. It's so difficult to understand. So the whole point is better to give a benefit of doubt all the time, even before you take any step to correct anybody for that matter, especially the seniors, because sometimes you are seeing things from your side of the table, and maybe from his side of the table things may be different. Also, sometimes there may be insufficient data. What you know about a particular incident, situation, may be insufficient data. You know just a little bit, but there may be a whole picture. So better to avoid, unless and until it's something which is really disturbing you and it's really going to harm the temple or harm your Krishna consciousness or harm others' Krishna consciousness, and you have to go out there as a savior and you feel the necessity, without you nobody else is going to do it, then you go ahead. But mostly it's better to avoid. And or otherwise, sometimes you can do it via somebody instead of you going all out, out front. You just share it with somebody, or share it with your mentor, or share it with somebody whom you are comfortable, and take guidance. How should I approach? What should I do? This is what has happened. And then very don't do it like on a war footing. Pause, think, and do it. For that matter, anything in our life, when we press a pause button, and everything we do, our reaction responses is after the pause button, we do it better. When we simply act to our impulse immediately, something, I felt like that, let me go and tell him, you'll almost end up doing something wrong. Even like you're writing a mail to somebody, you're sending some correction to somebody, write it and sleep over it. Wait for 24 hours if it's not urgent, and then again read it. Because sometimes the modes of nature act on us. Sometimes we are in sattvic mode, sometimes in rajasic, sometimes in tamasic, and we just act according to those modes. So we should be careful what mode we are, how we will react, so we can pause. And even if you want to correct, why just just repeat the script. Is it okay what I'm doing? Is it correct? Is it required? Think 10 times, take guidance from others, and then go about it. Because we have to be so careful about this Vaishnava Prad. It'll put us in trouble. So better to be slow about it. Krishna is there, Goloka Vrindavan is there, everything is happening. Nothing is, there's not going to be any big calamity if you don't change or correct that person. Take your own time and do it carefully. So respectfully, always do it. It should not be artificial. Our intention should be correct. That's very important. Sometimes, devotees, externally the body language may be very respectful. They will do shakshat dandavat pranam and please accept they'll say everything, and then they'll say something which is so hurting to the other person. So we have to be so careful. We shouldn't be like, with our one word just hurt 10 hearts. And because what Skanda Puran says, that even when you disrespect a devotee, it's aparad. When it's like killing somebody, especially those who are respected. We have to be so careful in our choice of words. What we say shouldn't hurt anybody. We have to be very, sometimes, you physically hit somebody, after a few days, the pain goes away. But when you say something, you can't take back your words, and sometimes they just stay with them forever. So very important is your intention. Of course, intention and presentation. Usually people give 90% marks to your presentation and 10% to your intention. Their whole thing is, how did you present is very important, were you arrogant, and 10% is your intention. But Krishna knows our intention. So intention also should be pure. We really wanted to make this correction genuinely because we feel the necessity, or we just want to show our superiority, that I know better. So check your intention before you go ahead to make that correction. It's a long topic. We can go on and on, but I hope this helps you.
Very much, very much. Another question in the chat box is, when I hear a talk on this topic like today, I feel like changing myself, but next morning I end up doing the same mistakes of criticizing and finding fault in others. what to
Okay,
do.
so your question is that I get inspired when I hear the class, but again we come back to square A. So why this happens? So this happens almost all the time. It's not only this, anything that you do, we get inspired, but that inspiration to stay stronger and longer, you will have to even create the environment to facilitate that inspiration to grow in your life. So yeah, you may be inspired with something, but you have to even create the environment to facilitate the growth. That means today I have decided after this class, I don't want to be envious of anybody. I want to be a humble and nice Vaishnava. So yeah, so how do I grow that inspiration which has just now come into my heart? Is I nourish it. So that means it's not stopping that I heard the class today. I'll hear it again and I'll hear it again and I'll hear some more classes and I'll do more Shravanam and more Kirtanam, and slowly I will improve. So sometimes certain classes which you have which have inspired you, you can always keep them, like your capsule. And then after sometimes when you feel dull again, you just hear the same class again, and then you hear the same class again, and then that will again inspire you, or related classes. So the whole point is, the bhakti lata beej, even in our Krishna consciousness, that has been given freely to us, but to nourish it is our job. So yeah, sometimes we get inspired, but we'll have to nourish it. See, you when you are in the deep dark forest, you may somehow work hard, try and get some twigs together and light up, some fire. That was difficult by itself, but what will be more difficult is to continue the fire. You have to go on collecting twigs and make sure that the fire is lit on and doesn't get extinguished. Same thing happens with our spiritual life also. We all get inspired very quickly and very easily. Doesn't take much endeavor. 1 hour class and we will be on our high. But to keep the high stronger and longer, we have to facilitate it. And that facilitation is the right association, whether Vani or Vapu, whether you hear classes or associate with devotees who have that same mentality, but that is required. Otherwise, it will become like our New Year resolution. By the second week of January, it's all gone to the trash. It'll happen like that. So, and don't have to feel bad about it. I think that's the story of everybody's life. We all get inspired by something, and then we'll get again. It's not about why this is happening. It'll happen, but again get up, and then again it'll happen, and again get up, and it's a part of life. The only thing is, if you keep on doing it regularly, the frequency of falling down will reduce. Initially, maybe every two days you used to get angry and again envious, but if you keep on hearing, now instead of 2 days, every 2 months you will have that, you'll have that anger or enviousness. Then again every 2 years, then it will become every 10 years, like that. Slowly in the graph, the frequency will reduce. I'm not saying it'll immediately diminish. The frequency will be reduced, and that's a good sign, and we should be happy about it. And slowly it will get better.
Thank you, Mataji. The extension of the correction question that was there earlier, someone is asking that if I have to correct my husband or a senior member of the family, what is the right way to do that? Because these are my superiors, especially in the family.
Okay, so you're saying that if you have to correct your husband or correct your senior family members, how do you go about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's the same answer. Just take an humble position, and before correcting, make sure you have done your job properly. You have served them enough, before you try and give them correction. We need to check ourselves before we do that. Before we try to correct somebody. There may be so many things that we are going wrong. See, yeah, sometimes I make the children do this exercise, in my school. I just tell them that sit and write down all the good qualities that you want to see in your best friend. And you should see the enthusiasm with which they will write. They'll go on writing, he should be honest, and he should keep all my secrets, and he should be friendly, and then they'll write and they'll be so happy, and they'll run to me. I'm done. And you'll see there'll be 15, 20 qualities they want to see in their best friend. And then I tell them, okay, now check if you have these qualities in yourself. That is the time they'll be like, oh, in myself. So we don't have those qualities in ourselves, and we almost all the time want to see that qualities in others. So like this, we should be very careful when we are trying to correct others. Like, do I have these problems? First, we check ourselves before. It's like we help ourselves before trying to help others. We put our oxygen mask before trying to put mask on others. It's what they train us in the plane. So like that, and if you really think that, you're doing okay and you need to help that person, see, basically correction is for what? You want to help the person. That's the whole intention. So you genuinely feel that you need to help or correct the person, then you serve the person, serve the person, especially because they are elders. You serve them very nicely, and then do it very subtly. Very subtly, you should do it. And they should not feel offended. It's very important. No, unless and until I know a specific, what, I wouldn't be like give you the details, but I can just tell you the principle. Make sure you approach humbly, make sure it's right, make sure your intention is right, and make sure what correction you're giving is actually required. It's not something which you have just imagined, 80% of the time it will be something like that. You don't even know the other side of the story, and you run in to give some correction. So we have to be careful. Before we tread into that, think 100 times, pause, and then go ahead.
We have 2 more questions, and then we can.
Okay.
Rihita, you want to ask? You can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for your class. Mataji, I have a question. Can we ignore the people who are envious of us? Meaning, like when I'm trying to serve Krishna, trying to be doing everything on time and with perfection, I see some of the people are envious of the devotion or the service that I'm offering. But like, is it okay to ignore?
Mataji, what is your name?
No, Shrihita.
What is that?
Shrihita.
Srinita. Now, I have a question. It's my personal question. How do you know that somebody is envious of you?
By the looks, maybe, or
no, because I genuinely have this question because I don't know. Many times people ask me, they are envious. This person is envious of me, but I really wonder, how do they even realize that somebody is envious? Because I don't know. I never came across somebody who is envious of me, and that's why I'm not able to get that experience. Because unless you have that experience, you cannot answer the question properly. But in my life, I never had that experience. Like, how do you understand that this person is envious of you? And this question is in my mind from a long time, and I don't know whom to ask. Like, how do I know this person is envious? Because I didn't find anybody like that. How do you know? Like, tell me specifically so that I can help you. Like, how do you know that person is envious of you?
Yeah, there is something which you cannot explain, but this is the feeling. This is not, they won't use the words, but the looks or some kind of I don't know how to express it, but there is some kind of pulling inside. You can understand that when there is some negativity or anything around you. Or
if the enviousness is only expressed by their body language and not by any words, then you also give them some good look back. They're just looking at you with enviousness is what you feel, and you just give them a good look back. I don't know. Somebody's fighting with looks, you fight with look. Somebody fight with word, you fight with words, right? So if you think that the look of it is makes you feel that they are envious, so okay, you just give them a good look back. If they are envious, you just smile and you be more humble and you try to be more friendly and nice, and maybe they'll give up that look. No, why I'm telling you this is because sometimes I feel maybe we just misunderstand people. Like you may just feel this person is giving. Can you close that door? That this noise is. You may just feel that this person is envious of you. That may not be the question. See, I'll give you one example. You know, in India, cricket is very popular sport. Everybody, they love cricket. And now, of course, there are cell phones and, that you can just watch live. But, many years ago, there was this radio, they'll just plug the radio or the Walkman and it's ear plug, and they're hearing the cricket commentary, 4-6 run out, so many overs left, and these youngsters, whether you see them in the bus or you see them in the road, sometimes they're just hearing the cricket commentary and they will start behaving as if they are the bowler, while hearing they will do like this, and somebody is walking, they'll be like, are you trying to hit me or something? But actually they're not trying to hit you. That commentary is going on and he's just making all that actions, he'll do like this as if he's batting, as if he's bowling, all kinds of actions he will do. If you are not from India and you don't know about the sport cricket, you will end up thinking he's mad fellow or what, trying to hit. But because it's harmless boy just enjoying his cricket. But the actions are like that. So sometimes we may assume somebody is envious of us because he's giving us that look, but it may not be true. Maybe something else is going on in their mind at that particular time. Maybe you just assuming it to be like that, See, like, look, let's say I did something very nice. Maybe I made very beautiful DT dress and I'm really expecting everybody to appreciate. And I see this one devotee is having a grumpy face and he doesn't have any appreciation. And I may think he's envious, but maybe it's not like that. Maybe he just put a little more salt in his pasta today morning and he's upset about that. Or maybe he had some fighting with her wife or husband, or maybe he had some other issue at the office. But that body language, we feel me towards me, maybe because I'm not saying you are wrong. You may be right, whatever you are feeling. I'm sure it's a genuine feeling, but I'm just trying to tell you to look for options, give benefit of doubt. Sometimes, sometimes, what happens? People put us in a certain frame, frame, you put a photo in a frame. The photo is like this, but you put in a glass frame, it looks different. The same photo you put in a wooden frame, it looks different. Sometimes people put us in different frame. They have some thinking about us. This Mataji is very egoistic. This Mataji is like this. She's always like that. She's all like that. They have put us in a certain frame. It's not their mistake. By mistake, they have put us in a wrong frame. Somehow we just need to come out of that frame and show them, no, we're not like that. I'm not like that. You just have to take that out. So give benefit of doubt. And if you specifically feel that person or Mataji or somebody or whoever is envious, try to be friends. And I think communication is the key. Sometimes we just over-interpret and we give translation and purport to everybody's behavior. We are expert commentators. Somebody looks like this and we have a whole translation with purport, about them and their behavior. So sometimes we just give benefit of doubt, just talk to them and be friendly. And sometimes they are feeling we are not friendly. Maybe they think, oh, she's so egoistic. Sometimes we think, and actually there is nothing between the both. Both are actually nice, but just misunderstanding each other because of lack of communication. So like that, and I can go on, but like certain tips, just communicate, talk to them, give them benefit of doubt, and try to come out of that frame which they have put you in. So like that, I just hope this helps you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. And I hope your eyes feel better.
Okay, Ramchandra Prabhu, is the last question now?
Yes, unless you're able to accommodate another one.
No.
There's one.
No, it's
Okay,
just that I need to run for a meeting. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the last question, Gopal Govind Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji, wonderful class. Lot of serious and very actionable items. Thank you so much for giving your time. The question might be a little longer, so just keep it in short. The 6-point test you gave, very nice in there, but it seems like if we analyze it thoroughly, they will all it's pretty much very difficult to pass that test. Seems like we'll be failing all the time. So that's one concern. And other is the story you told told, or rather like the exchanging your expressions with deities, like you serving the deities, and the deities don't say anything, but it goes on. But what if the deities are real and start exchanging? And you mentioned that it will turn out to be envy. So I was not clear about that part. Maybe I
I'm
missed
not so
something.
clear about your question. What I understand is that you said, what if the deities are real? It's not about what if the deities are real. Deities are real. There is no question about they being real or not being real. The whole point is that what I was trying to say is because they don't come out and talk like we talk, like normal people. So we feel very comfortable because the deities are not going to criticize us. Unlike the devotees. Today I don't do my chanting properly, then Radha Damodar doesn't humiliate me in front of everybody and says, oh, no, she has not done her chanting properly. But devotees are very kind, so they will tell, hey, you were drowsing, when when you're doing your japa. So they will correct. So because they correct, we don't like them, because they correct. They show you the real picture. They show you the mirror. Hey, look, this is how you look. But with the deities, it's not like that. Krishna is very kind. Whether you chant, you don't chant, he's always there with his smile and flute. And so he has sent his representatives in the form of his devotees to help us to connect to him. But he is very kind. He wouldn't. That is why you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, whether it is Prahlad or Dhruva or Ambarish or just about any devotees, when they saw Lord Mukha Mukhi, face to face, the only thing they ask is, can we get association of devotees perpetually? They never asked the Lord, can I have your association perpetually? They said, we want to have devotee association, because there are chances that even in the presence of the Lord, you may forget Lord. It happens. But in the presence of devotees, you can never forget Lord. Because what happens when you are with devotees? Bodhayante parasparam, kathayantaschu mam nityam. When you are with devotees, you are talking about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, thinking about Krishna, and you'll never forget Krishna. But when you are in front of Krishna, you're never sure. See what happens. You see, you just stand in front of Krishna, you're right in front of the deities, and darshanarti, there are always chances where you will think, okay, my sari is looking, okay, oh, what's her sari? What happened? This is so many things. But when you are hearing katha, nothing you are thinking, you're so engrossed in hearing. So yeah, devotees association is so powerful. They just take your mind and put it on Krishna's lotus feet. So I didn't mean any offense by saying that, the deities are real. What I'm just trying to say is, because they're not talking and they're not pointing us out our mistakes, we are very comfortable. But if they start pointing out, imagine, you just go in Guru Puja and you're putting flower on Prabhupada, and Prabhupada actually starts speaking to you and tell you, this is what you did and that's what you did. Then we have to, that's a real test. We'll understand how comfortable we are. But that's a human psychology. We don't like corrections. We don't want people to correct. We just want, that's another test. We just feel we are doing great and we are always, all the time correct. And we want to correct others, that was one thing. And I didn't understand your first question. What was that?
No, this fine. That's nice explanation. First one was just the comment that 6-point test seems like very difficult to pass.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. I hope this has helped you. Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji. You've given us double the time. Today were 2 lectures.
Yes.
And we are honored, we are blessed, we're very grateful.